is 1 in the 6. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. True Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Now, a lot of you may, I don't know. I mean, it's not that I care. A lot of you may see this as disrespect. A lot of people are going to tune in. When this video posts, there's going to be people, you know, well, you hating on Tiger. No. I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to state facts. And, y'all do what y'all do with it. I'm just asking a question. I've said this before. Maybe you didn't listen. Maybe you missed it. But there's a lot of similarities behind the mystique of Tank Davis, which reminds me, a lot of y'all weren't even born when Mike was hot in these streets. I'm talking about when he was an active fighter. A lot of y'all wasn't born. The only references you have to Mike Tyson is YouTube and maybe your OGs that were around. And when Mike was young and hot in these streets fighting as a pro fighter, I was still fairly young. But I was around older people that said, yo, it looks great. But there's some questions that need to be answered. And what was always happening was my dad, my uncles, when they would ask these questions, what do you think the younger cats, in the teenagers, the 20-year-olds, what do you think they were saying? You're just hating on Mike Tyson. You just don't like him because of A, B, and C. No one ever said that they hated Mike Tyson. But when you're in the limelight and they putting these coats on you and they're calling you certain things, we're like, great, prove it. That's all. See, the term hate wasn't around in the 80s. They would just say, man, you just don't like him. Man, what? You just think Ali is the GOAT. Well, Ali's washed up and he's retired now. Now it's time for us new cats. I would hear them say that. Us new cats. Us new cats. Exit out the old, in with the new. Us new cats. These are things that they would say. So we didn't like Mike Tyson. I'm talking about like how like my OGs would look at it. They don't like Mike Tyson because they had an unconditional love for Muhammad Ali. Guess what? Mike Tyson loved Ali. So that wasn't the argument. It wasn't even an argument. We're like, yo, it looks great. All right, so when is he going to get in the ring with somebody and do something special? That's all. That's all it was. Okay, all right, we have faith in him. Can he do something now? But the thing was, back then, it wasn't in abundance. Now, I'm willing to bet if there was social media back then, you know, you would see some things. But we're in an era where when we ask these fighters to, I don't know, do what they said they're going to do, or what they say they're going to do, and they don't do it, they have an unconditional fan base that is perfectly fine with them not doing anything. This is a very strange era that we're in. It's very strange. So I'm not here to drag Tank Davis. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to. I'm just going to point out certain things, and I'm going to ask y'all questions. And I'm interested to see what type of boxing supporter you are. It's okay to have a favorite fighter. I'm not saying that that's not okay. What I'm asking is, can you be realistic? Can you? I'm asking. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Let's do this roll call. Let me close. Why is this? What was this shit? What is this? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. All right. Eric H. Darnell Schaefer, Rod Neal, Main Event Mark, Vince Valbor, Shogun, Steve Elder Mack, Slim Hussein, Eric Jordan in the building, Dante Russell, Andrew Gray, Steve Elder Mack. I'm sorry, I got you, brother. Shit jumped on me. I'm sorry. Eric Jordan early in that super chat salute. He said, lightweight. We on the job. Salute, Eric. Appreciate that. Main Event Mark, Stormy B-Man in the building. Nicholas Levy, G. McCall. My brother CB Sports TV in the building. Unique Dawn. King Bonnie. What up, Isha? Prolific One. Detroit native. CT Fat Boy, what up? Jay Grant, smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just gonna let me ask the I know the Tank fans might be a little y'all might be a little timid this morning, but believe me when I tell you this isn't beef. This isn't beef. I'm just gonna ask questions. Y'all know how I do. I'm just gonna ask questions. Brother Code, salute. And whether you're a ultramagnetic Tank fan or not, let me just ask y'all, what was the Tank fight that did it for you? What was the Tank fight that made you say, you know what, this kid could take over the world, Pinky and the Brain style. This kid could really do it. Queen, salute, Queen. No smoke in the building. What's the fight that did it for you? Really wasn't a compliment, was it? Take over the world, Pinky and the Brain. Were those mice ever successful? No. And it was actually comedy. And that's how I view this thing with Tank. Because I look at the Tank fans, I'm like, what exactly are y'all mad at? Texas T, what up? What are the Tank fans mad at? I don't understand. You're the A side, and you've reached the top of your craft by not paying attention to belts and you didn't have to do too much hard work. I don't understand what y'all mad at. Let me take it off of Tank for a second. Shogun, what up? Let me take it off. True Boxing Night in the building. What up? Let me take it off of Tank for a second. Shamar, what's good? How about this? Y'all remember Gennady Golovkin? No one knows if he's retired or not or whatever. He's just around. Who remembers well, forget remembers. You know what my problem was? Tay, what up? Shamar in a strong house for 27 months. That's 2 years and some change, man. Salute to you. Salute to you, good brother. That's support right there. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, man. That's a supporter right there. All y'all support me, but you know what I'm saying. Salute to you, good brother. I never had a problem with Gennady Golovkin at first, until that they had a couple of things going on. First of all, HBO was going through this transition where they said, you know what, these black guys are getting on our nerves, and I think there's enough European people that look like us, the execs, the white people, that, you know, we could push this thing. We could push this European agenda. You got the Klitschko's. I'm sorry, let me say it how Jim Lampley was trying to say it. Vitaly Klitschko. You remember when he was saying his name like that? Oh man, that was annoying. Jeff Sparks, salute. MJ Total Health and Wellness. Remember that? Vitaly Klitschko. I was like, oh God, what is he doing? Stop this crap. But fine. At the Klitschko boys there. Loma was they was talking about him, and then this guy Gennady Golovkin comes, and they were trying to, you know, put this white agenda on us, and I'm like, look, can they fight? That's all I care about. I know what y'all trying to do, but can they fight? And enter Gennady Golovkin, and I really didn't have a problem with him because, you know, he was doing what he was supposed to do. Everyone that was put in front of him, he was beating him. Copper, what up? I had to tell them to pump their mother effing brakes when they said he had this unbelievable win streak. I forgot how many title defenses, but they tried to say he was better than Bernard Hopkins at 160. I was like, wait a minute. No. Don't do that. Kane, what up? Don't do that. In insult to injury, then they started to say he was along the lines, not better than, but along the lines of Marvin Hagler. I was like, see? And with that right there, I said, I'm not supporting this dude. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're saying he's one of the greatest middleweights we've ever seen. B-Hop was undefeated for how many years? And then you're saying he's along the lines of Marvin Hagler, and he hasn't even done anything yet. And then Canelo ducking him at first, that didn't help matters at all. And I'm like, yeah. That's another reason why Canelo pissed me off. Because Canelo was supposed to stop that when it was happening. And then when he does fight him, he fights him to a draw. Then he completely outclasses him in the second fight, and then he pops dirty. You see what I'm saying? So there were things happening that really got on my nerves. Now, I held Gennady Golovkin accountable. I held the business accountable for trying to force a marketing scheme on us. Now, what does that have to do with Tank Davis? I see the exact same thing. Yes, salute, sis. I'm not sold. I'm not sold. Y'all could be sold. You know, all of us are boxing experts, right? You know, the eye test. How many of y'all, I ain't gonna get into that. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but I hear that a lot. Oh, based off of what I see, I think, yeah. You know what the eye test told me when I was like 10, 12? I said, there's a guy at cruiserweight that's coming to heavyweight specifically to fight Mike Tyson. And based off of what I've seen, I think he could beat Mike. The guy down there at cruiserweight, he's kind of tall for Mike. He got a flat top. His name is Evander Holyfield. You know what my friends did? They laughed. Mike could beat everybody. I said, he's a fighter. There's somebody out there with his number. We just haven't seen him yet. He might get out the business unscathed. But believe it, every fighter can get it. I got laughed at. And I said, well, question. Do you even know who Evander Holyfield is? They didn't even know he was part of the Olympic team. They didn't know. You see, my friends didn't know boxing like how I knew boxing. It was just it was just a sport to them, like that you watch on TV. They didn't know the science of it. I did. And I knew then, I'm not about to get into I'm not going to try and engage in the educated conversation of the sport when my friends really didn't know it. So they just laughed about it. Laughed at me, they laughed about it, and they, oh man, fuck that. You know, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and you know, and that's what they do. The video game and the highlight reels that they aired on the news. And meanwhile, way back then, Ring Magazine, and I was just starting to get into like trying to figure out rankings, and I'm around the OGs that actually watch this stuff, and they're saying, well, you know, look, you know, he could do this and he could do that, but he's done what he's supposed to do with the competition I was put in front of him. But I'd like to see him do this, this, and this. So when I asked the audience, Tank Davis, what fight did it for you? What fight made you say, yo, this guy could take over the world? What fight did it for you? Because I'm going to ask y'all the same question. There's only a handful of people that remembers the Mike Tyson run, like, and they were adults. Copper, he's one of the brothers. You know, Stormy was around. The brothers are a little older than me. A few of y'all might be in here. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old, you know. Salute. Kane, what up? But even now, to be ignorant is an excuse. To be ignorant is an excuse, because you can see everything Mike Tyson has ever done online, and you can read. You could read for yourself. You can pull up the rankings. So what did it for you with Tank? Yeah, Slim Hussein, we're going to talk about the downfall. We're going to talk about it. Because you know what? Till this day, I see more people making up excuses as to why Mike went on this downfall. They make excuses for the man. But I'm like, no. When you're a champion, when you're held to a standard, you're supposed to behave a certain way. It's his fault. It's his fault. Now, Edgar, what up? What fight did it for y'all? What fight gives y'all reasonable cause to believe that Gervonta Tank Davis can take over the world? Because he's still undefeated. Mo G, what up? What fight did it for y'all? Listen, man, Tank fans, y'all could type this morning. Y'all could tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. I'm just gonna go to the record. That's all I'm gonna do. I have it pulled up right here. I'm just gonna go to the record. And since people like doing certain things, we're gonna talk about inside the ring and outside the ring behavior this morning. Because the mystique behind Mike Tyson and Tank is eerily similar. Mystique is defined as a fascinating aura of mystery, awe, and power surrounding someone or something. That's what mystique means. So y'all have this fascination with Tank. Demon, what up, man? I'm not fascinated by Tank. I'm really not. But I'm watching him move and I'm saying, damn, I've seen this before. And I'm thinking of Mike Tyson. Like, I've seen this before. Well, where have I seen this before? Iron Mike. What is he, aluminum? Demon says the Rolly fight. That's funny because you know how late in his career, you know what I'm saying? He's already selling out venues. And I'm like, well, how is this happening? Because I'm looking at the body of work. Let's go to the body of work. Okay. Tank Davis is 29 wins, 27 knockouts, no draws, no losses. All right. Pro debut is in 2013. Was it Desi Williams that did it for you? Was it Desi Williams? Was it Jacob Nenow? Was it Jonathan Gears? Rafael Casillas? Eric Jamal Goodall? James Franks? Joshua Orocho? Okay, this is when he starts going on his Latin thing. Hector Lopez? German Ivan Maris? This guy, German. Okay. If this is of any consequence, all right. All right, this happens with fighters. Because when y'all start talking about how Devin went to Mexico to bum bash, you could say that. You want to see what kind of fighter you got. Desi Williams, his first pro fight was 0-4. Jacob Nenow, that was his pro debut. Jonathan Gears, that was his pro debut. Rafael Casillas, he had 7 losses, only 4 wins. Eric Jamal Goodall was 1-1. James Franks was 2 wins, 8 losses. Joshua Orocho was 3 wins, 9 losses. Hector Lopez, that was his pro debut. He got knocked out. Oh, by the way, all the guys I mentioned was stopped. German Ivan Meraz, 47 wins, 31 losses, 1 draw. Israel Suarez, 4 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws. Alberto Mora in 2015 was the first guy that he fought that had more wins than losses. He was 5 wins and 3 losses. All right. The second guy was Ricky Dulé, 8 wins, 1 loss. All right. Cristobal Cruz, 40 wins, 18 losses, 4 draws. Luis Sanchez, 17 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. Guillermo Avila Gutierrez, 15 wins, 5 losses. Mario Antonio Macias, 28 wins, 18 losses. Let me stop right there real quick. All right. So from 2013, he fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He was 16 fights in. And this was 2016. So in 3 years, basically, he fought 16 times. Is that okay? I'm not saying if it's good. I'm not saying if it's bad. I'm just asking y'all a question. Is that okay? That's what you do with a fighter. You bring him along. You see what you're working with. I don't recall any of those fights, to be honest. I'm sure some of them are on YouTube. But you put your fighter in there with different styles to see how he does. I'm not beefing about the record. I mean, like as far I know what they're doing is in other words, I know what they're doing, and that's fine. All those names that I mentioned, y'all don't know who the fuck they are. Can we be honest? Can we be honest? Kobe says wrong comparison. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. You have no idea why I'm doing this show, but you're going to see. It's not the wrong comparison at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to highlight what you said here. It's not the wrong comparison at all. It's not. It's not. So with 16 fights in, his 3rd year as a pro. Y'all don't know any of those people he fought. 3 years in his career, 16 fights. Y'all don't even know him. Y'all don't even know what the fuck he was doing. What the fuck was that? Now, I'm telling you, I ain't got no problem with how they brought him along. You're supposed to do shit like that. So now, let me go to Mike Tyson's record. 1985, I was 10 years old when this man started his professional career. Hector Merced, Trent Singleton, Don Halpin, Ricardo Spain, John Alderson, Larry Sims, Lorenzo Kennedy, Michael Johnson, Donnie Long. I know who that is because the fight's on YouTube. Donnie Long, I believe that's the guy with that giant afro he fought. Robert Coley, Sterling Benjamin, Eddie Richardson, Conroy Nelson, Sammy Scaff, Mark Young. Let me stop right there for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still in 1985. What? Mike Tyson fought 15 times in 1985. And y'all don't recognize not a goddamn name on that damn. So, do y'all understand? I look at y'all strange when y'all say things like, who's he fought though? And y'all talking about the other people that we support. Who's he fought? He ain't fight anybody. Mike Tyson fought 15 times in 1985. How many of y'all knew that? And a lot of those things were cartoonish knockouts. How many of y'all knew that? Guess what? I knew that when it was happening in real time. And when I was asking my friends, wait a minute, you know, Mike didn't really do nothing yet. No, well, and all you saw was ABC Wide World of Sports. Oh, Mike Tyson with another outstanding knockout, and he's knocking the shit out of some guy. It's like, okay, it's cartoonish. It looks great. But who was that guy? Who was that guy? And I was saying this back in 85, y'all. Who was that? Who was that? Do you know, with these kids, you can hold Mike Tyson's record in front of them and say, start from the bottom and scroll up and stop when you recognize the name. You know where they usually stop? They usually stop at Larry Holmes or Spinks. They blow right by Trevor Berbick. Did you know that? I've tested this, and I'm like, give me my phone back, man. I want to slap him upside the head. You idiot. What? Yeah, this is Larry Holmes right there. Really? So we're going to ignore Mitch Green. We're going to ignore James Tillis. We're going to ignore Trevor Berbick, where he won the world championship, right? We're just going to know that. Yeah. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to understand who you're talking to. That's why sometimes when people, jump into the chat and they start saying things, it's like, especially when they jump in the chat and say something that I said an hour ago. It's like, okay, you just got here, but before I go any further, how old are you again? Are you listening? Did you check the temperature of the room before you came and sat down, or did you just hear the tail end of a statement and just come in here and start typing? Do y'all remember the definition of mystique? Mystique? Did I say Tank and Tyson were the same, or did I say they were similar? What do I mean by similar? Similar in celebration. similar in celebration. I didn't get this Mike Tyson mystique in 85. And I really don't get it with Tank today. I don't get it. I'm looking at what's in black and white. So let's go back to it. So Mike Tyson fought 15 mother effing times in 1985. A lot of y'all can't. Now y'all know. Now y'all know. The man fought 15 times in 1985. I can hear him right now. Oh, well, you're supposed to bum bash. Okay, but then when you talk about other fighters, oh, he ain't fought nobody. Just remember Mike Tyson, one of the most celebrated heavyweights in the history of this sport, fought 15 times in 1985. Okay, so now we're in 1986. David Jocko, anyone? Mike Jameson. Oh, here's a name. Jesse Ferguson. Y'all know who he is? Okay, let me. I'll keep going. Steve Zuski. Here we go. James Quick Tillis. He stopped the KO streak. Did y'all know that? Okay. Mitch Blood Green. Mike didn't knock him out either. He bust him up in the street, but not in the ring. Did y'all know that? Okay. Reggie Gross. William Hosea. Lorenzo Boyd. Marvis Frazier. That's Joe Frazier's son. Jose Ribalta, who was in that fight. Go watch the fight. Jose Ribalta. Go watch the fight. I'm not even going to stop right there. Alfonso Ratliff. Trevor Berbick was his last fight in 1986. And that was one of the most cartoonish knockouts you can ever see. And that was real. I give Mike full credit for that. So let's go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Mike Tyson fought 13 times in 1986. The man fought 28 times in 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I give him credit for Quick Tillis. I give him credit for Mitch Green. I give him credit for Jose Ribalta. I give him credit for Trevor Berbick. Three years in his career, Tank only fought 15 times. Three years. Slim Hussein says Tank ain't losing. Of course he's not. Let's go to the record. And you tell me who he's losing to. So now we're in 2016, okay? Now, here's a good win. Jose Pedraza. That's a really good win. I'll give him credit for that. Hold on. Jose Pedraza. 100%. Liam Walsh. Okay. Y'all want, okay. Liam Walsh. Now, Francisco Fonseca. Do y'all want to do the honors about what you think I'm about to say about Francisco Fonseca? What do you think I'm going to say right now? Yeah, Trick. The hell? What's going on? Screen went out for a second. What do you think I'm about to say about Fonseca? What happened? I'm gonna help y'all out. What happened in the Fonseca fight? What happened? He beat the shit out of Fonseca, but what happened? Y'all don't remember what happened? Did Tank not get stripped? Why did Tank get stripped? Why was Tank stripped? Did he have a problem making weight? Did Tank have a problem making weight? He did, right? I'm looking at the article right here. Lightweight? He missed weight. They took his shit at this camp. I was like, oh, come on, young king, don't do this. I didn't celebrate. I didn't laugh. I said, yo, come on, bro. Show some class. Be professional, champ. That's what I said. Why are you missing weight, bro? Let me see. What was the time frame? The Fonseca fight, the Liam Walsh fight in the UK was in May. The Fonseca fight was in August. Why are you missing weight? And the title was on the line for Fonseca only. Yo, listen, man. Tank missed weight, bro. This is a direct quote. I'm young, I'm growing. I had a chance to make weight. I knew I couldn't make it, and that's that. That's what he wrote on his Twitter. Is it still up? You know he likes to take shit down. I will have a belt again. I lost the belt, not a fight. My fans and supporters, I apologize. I will make it up. Okay? Mm-hmm. So Tank missed weight. Now we're talking about professionalism at this point, right? Now we can't say Mike Tyson missed weight because he's a heavyweight. There is no weight. But what I'm saying is, this is what Tank has done. This is what Tank has done. All right. So let's go back to Mike Tyson's record real quick, because now we're in 1987. He closes off 1986 with a bang. He knocked the shit out of Trevor Berbick. That was one of the most cartoonish knockouts. And by then he was the youngest heavyweight champion in history. You know, that was badass. I mean, he hit Trevor on the inside and Trevor couldn't get up, and Lord knows he tried. And rest in peace to Trevor Berbick. So now he goes into 1987, rocking and rolling. All right, he fights Bone Crusher Smith. He won that fight UD. He fights Pinkman Thomas with a stoppage. Tony Tucker, give him credit for that. UD. Terrell Biggs, TKO, remember that. Larry Holmes, right? Give him credit for that. I mean, Larry was long in the tooth. He shouldn't have been in the ring, you know, whatever. Tony Tubbs, give him credit for that. He fought him in Japan. All right. Michael Spinks, we all saw it. Mind you, I'm 13 years old when this is happening, y'all. Frank Bruno, give him credit for that. Carter Truth Williams. That man laid, man. Whatever, man. Whatever. Buster Douglas. Now we're in 1990. He's back in Japan. Fights Buster Douglas. Now here's where the BS starts. This was his first loss. I never heard more excuses for a heavyweight champion to losing. There was no internet back then, but the streets really stuck up for Mike. And it was all over the news talking about how Buster, he got dropped, he really got knocked out in round 8. I'm not finna do this. I was saying it back then, I ain't finna do this with y'all. Mike lost. I watched the fight, and I remember in between rounds, I said, what's going on in this corner? That's not an end swell. And my friends looked at me like, what's an end swell? Exactly. Y'all don't even know what a fucking end swell is? They had a what was that? A rubber glove with water in it compressed on Mike's head. And I was like, what the hell is that? What's going on here? And I'm watching this like, what's wrong with his corner? Mike was legitimately in there by himself. And y'all can say what y'all want, but Buster Douglas smoked him. And you know why I stand on that? Y'all could say, oh, well, Mike will get him, and Mike would have got him, Mike would have won, Mike will get him again. You know what never happened? The rematch. Y'all never stopped for 2 seconds to ask why that rematch never, y'all never stopped and asked why there was never an immediate rematch? Y'all never asked that? Y'all know the story, but y'all never cared to ask? In real time, I saw that there was something wrong in that corner. My friends don't know what an end swell is. I said, what is that shit on his head? I said, that's a glove with water in it. Where's the end swell? My boys was like, what's that? What is that? I was like, oh my God. And the corner looked different. I said, are those his friends? About a week later, you start hearing things about how he was in Japan goofing off. By the way, a couple of months ago, Bobby Brown did an interview talking about exactly what happened in Japan. Guess what? You're the heavyweight champion in the world. You make a fighter dangerous by not training for him properly. All of that was his fault. Buster Douglas had lost his mother. Any fighter that I've spoken to, OG fighters, from Freddie Pendleton to everybody, everybody says, you know what? I don't know many fighters that would have beat Buster that night. Between Mike fucking off in Japan and Buster fighting with a purpose, they said James would have probably beat anybody that night. So this was a recipe for disaster. James Douglas is 6'4" with like a 80+ inch reach. He was all wrong for Mike Tyson. Did y'all pay attention to that at all? Probably not. Because the mystique of Mike Tyson gave everyone reasonable cause to believe that he was going to be fooled that night. And that was wrong. Why did he never fight James Douglas again? That was supposed to be automatic. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. You never asked why? He wasn't even supposed to be fighting James Douglas that night. They said, we're going to go fight Buster Douglas and take this easy money before we fight Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield was in attendance. That was back when he had hair. He had the flat top. By the way, I was still saying, yo, that guy's going to get him. He could get Mike. And I was still getting laughed at. And then he got flatlined. Mike got knocked out. First loss, KO stoppage. He fucked Mike up. I don't want to hear how he didn't take his camp seriously, how he fired his cornerman. I don't want to hear none of that. That was his fault. That was his fault. That's Mike Tyson's fault. Behavior outside the ring. 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 Tank. Tyson. Tank. Tyson. Wait a minute. I'm explaining to you guys. There was more mystique surrounding Mike Tyson. I'm not saying he wasn't talented. I'm saying that he was very beatable. I saw that with James Quick Tillis. I saw that with Mitch Green. I saw that with Jose Ribalta. I saw that. And I said, you know what? A little younger, a little more power. He fights someone that's not scared of him, that can keep him off him. Mike's going to run into something. And I was saying since 1985, Evander Holyfield's that guy. I've been saying that. Now, I mentioned the formula that I said will give Mike Tyson problems. Now, let's stop right there for a second. What gives Tank Davis problems? Come on, Tank fans. Nothing. He's beating everybody. He's beating everybody he's supposed to. Question. We've seen the style that gives him a headache. We've seen it in sparring. Has he fought anything remotely close that gives him a headache on a professional level that he's fought in sparring? The answer is no. So when I get on here and I say I can't gauge Tank, it's not a form of disrespect. It's truth. I cannot gauge the young man. I don't have to bring up Devin Haney. By the way, before he fought, Tank missed weight twice. Did he miss weight before he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa? Now, how professional is that? Now, Mike ain't have to make weight, but he's not taking... Didn't Mike have like a gonorrhea outbreak before one of his bouts? Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. That's his fault. You fire him in your whole corner before you fight Buster Douglas in a foreign country? That's your fault, man. Tank, how are you missing weight at this level? That's unprofessional, young king. Are we going to talk about the troubles outside of the ring? Do we have to even go there? We don't really have to go there. We don't have to go there. We don't. Because we know what we're looking at. Mike went away. Tank was on house. He went away. There was on house arrest. And don't look now. Tank is older than everybody. He's snatching the rug from underneath his own feet. And I'm looking at his resume, which I still have up right here. The names that I mentioned on Mike Tyson's resume. Mike at that time was one of the shortest fighters, one of them, when he was active. He was fighting guys taller than him. But those guys that had talent, he wasn't absolutely smoking them like that. Name one Tank Davis fight to date, out of the names that I've mentioned so far, that you can honestly say, yo, I don't know about this one. This is gonna be tough for Tank. I don't know about this one. Name one. Name one. I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me go here. In Mike Tyson's record, I remember people talking about Michael Spinks may be able to take him into deep water. That didn't work out. Larry Holmes was kind of past it, but they said, yo, if he could take him into deep water, he could drag him. That didn't happen. Tony Tucker was for real. And he was undefeated when he fought Mike, by the way. I think he had like 33 wins or something like that. Tony Tucker, I was like, that could be interesting. I did have him beating everybody else. Buster Douglas, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have Buster Douglas beating Mike, but he did it. But what happened after that was Henry Tillman, Alex Stewart, and Razor Ruddock twice. That's what happened. And then he went to prison, was out the ring for 4 years. He never ran it back. What you doing fighting Razor Ruddock twice, man? What you doing fighting Henry Tillman and Alex Stewart and not running it back immediately with the guy that knocked you out? What happened there, man? He never ran it back. He was supposed to get that back immediately, man. So Tank missed weight. Let me pull that up. Yeah, versus Gamboa. He weighed in at 136 pounds. And that was at 135, ladies and gentlemen. What is he doing? Kano Loco, my brother, in the building. Salute. What is he doing coming in overweight at 135? What is he doing coming in overweight against Yuriokas Gamboa? Of all people, what are you doing? How does this happen? Let me go back to Tank's record here. So he fights Francisco Fonseca. He missed weight. They stripped him. Jesus Marcelo, Cellular. Okay. Hugo Ruiz, Ricardo Nunez, Gamboa. This is 2 years later. He's still missing weight. How does that happen, bro? Right? Then the next year, he fights Leo Santa Snooze. Slept him. Now, word on the block is Leo was outweighed. He was outweighed by like 15 pounds that night. So this kid's not making weight at 135. Then when he gets it together, he gets in the ring and rehydrates against Leo Santa Cruz. 15 pounds? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. At this level, the way he was celebrated, at this level, you can't be missing weight there, homie. You cannot be missing weight there, homie. No, you absolutely cannot. There's no excuse for that, man. There's no excuse for that. What was his excuse for missing weight? You can't put the fork down? By this time, he's making millions of dollars. You can't afford no strength and conditioning coaches? What is the excuse for missing weight? What is the excuse for any of these fighters missing weight at this level? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But he comes in against Leo Santa Cruz, 15 pounds heavier, and that fight ended. It looked like a guy in a completely different weight class. And he knocked the shit out of. He knocked Leo Santa Cruz Head off. Yo, that's why we call him Leo Santa Snooze, because when he was on the floor sleeping, didn't it look like he was smiling? I'm not kidding. He was smiling on the floor. I said, oh shit, is he okay? Look at it. He was on the floor sleeping, like smiling. I was like, oh shit, something out of a cartoon. You know, cartoons, they reflect real life. Remember when AJ hit the floor, when Andy Ruiz hit him? And I looked at him, I said, what the hell is he smiling at? What's so funny? Leo Santa Cruz was on the floor, sleeping, with a smile on his face. I said, damn, I thought Tank killed him. Well, and then he woke up with no sneakers on. His shoes were, I have a picture with his shoes was gone. I said, oh shit. So now, I see excuses for Tank, like how I see excuses for Mike Tyson. I'm living through both eras, y'all. I was there for it. Every time Tank made a boo-boo, everybody's in. Do you remember when I spoke about the car accident where Tank left the scene of the crime? What did that young fool in the chat say? Y'all remember that? He said, oh, come on, that's never happened to you. We've all done things like that before. No, I can't say that I have. Getting a little accident, a fender bender, you stay there. What do you mean that we've all done? No, we have not. That's why I look at these kids strange. See these young boys greeting each other in the street, a pound and a hug, and they kiss each other on the cheek. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Oh, come on, man. Yo, you don't do that with your boys? No. No. Get away from me. That's what you do. Get away from me. Just go on about your business. No judgment here. The mystique, the similarities is the same. The excuses are the same. Tank Davis is the Mike Tyson Mystique remix. I've seen this shit before. I knew the kryptonite for Mike Tyson. I knew it the whole time. I knew it the whole time. I knew it the whole time. Y'all ain't gotta believe me. It's cool. I'm watching it unfold in real time. What I could say about Mike Tyson is that eventually he was put in a position where he had to fight people that fought him back. And like I said, he was a killer against the people he was supposed to kill. 28 times the man fought in 2 years. 28. Tank fought 15 times in 3 years. About 3 years, you know, depending on the months and how it shaped up. But go look at this record for yourself. Do it yourself. And I know what I saw when Mike got in the ring with people that knew how to box and use the jab. As soon as he fought Quick Tillis, the KO streak stopped. Fought Mitch Blood Green. He didn't knock him out either. Mitch could fight. Now I'm gonna ask y'all again. What was the fight that gives you reasonable cause to believe that Tank beats the world? What is it? What is it? Heavyweight division was more there were more options there. But I watched how they moved Mike Tyson. I watched how they moved him. I was getting a little older and there was questions that needed to be answered. And after the James Buster Douglas loss, he got 2 wins. I don't know why he needed a warm up. The man done knocked the shit out you, took your belts. You didn't even run it back. You had no intention to run it back. You fought 2 fights in between and then fought Razor Ruddock twice. And then, unfortunately, you went to prison and was out the ring for about 4 years. And even when he's in prison, they're talking about, oh, well, you know, I think he'd have beat Buster because look what Evander did to him. Do y'all have any idea what Buster Douglas was going through leading up to that Evander Holyfield fight? Ask Stormy. He's in the chat. That man was in litigation, flying across country for court cases. He was being sued. Did y'all know that? There was no Zoom back then. There was no Zoom meetings or nothing. He was getting sued. How are you training when you got to be in 2 different states across country to answer subpoenas? The guy had a fucked off camp. Yeah, Nick J. Yeah, she says, I think the Leo fight did it for the majority. Yeah. But a lot of people didn't know that he was 15 pounds heavier than Leo. And not one time did anybody bother to call Tank a weight bully. Not one time. Not one time. You just are concerned with the results, right? But Devin Haney is a weight bully, right? But stop right there. Because after he slept Leo Santa Cruz, he went to 140 and knocked the shit out of Mario Barrios. Huh? Nani? Okay. Guess what? I didn't pick Barrios to beat Tank either. I said, okay, he's going to 140. He's going there for a reason. Now, let me give you a bit of information. He didn't have to go to 140 and fight Mario Barrios. He could have fought Regis Prograis. He didn't do that. Didn't do that. Y'all never asked why he didn't do that? I know why. I know why. So he's at 135. He goes up to 140. He knocks Barrios out. Does a backflip on the ring. And it was a great performance. It was. Goes back to 135. Right? And he tried to give you Rolly Romero at first, but then he ran into some trouble. Rolly ran into some legal problems. Some chicks made some allegations. Where those chicks, where they go, don't know what happened. But nothing happened with him. He ain't go to jail or nothing. It was enough to fuck him out of that fight and enter Isak Pitbull Cruz. That was interesting. Right? By the way, Isak had how many fights at 140? 140 was Saturday night. That was his 140 debut, right? What did he do? He just won a belt at 140. He fought Rolly Romero at 140. I don't recall Isak Cruz talking about size and rehydration clauses or anything like that. I don't recall. If it was said, y'all let me know, please, because I don't recall. Isak just said, hey, I'm going to go up there, I'm going to fight. Now Isak is a champion, y'all. He wasn't complaining about no goddamn rehydrations or nothing like that. Right? Now, let me read this from our brother, 88 Sports Talk, in that super chat salute. He says, when your team says, why would you put Tank in that situation where he can't do what he do, bro? If that doesn't tell you all you need to know. Yo, bro, listen. Listen. Coach Cal said that, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Cal said that. You know what? Thank you for the super chat. Let's start right there, because I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss that. Kenny _ my brother's in the building. Salute. I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss that. Whole time Tank's at 135. I'm reading you off these names. He even went up to fight Mario Barrios. at 140, comes back down to 135, fights Pitbull Cruz, right? The whole time he's doing this at 135, you know what he never, ever, 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 ever. You know what he never did? You want to talk about what Tank didn't do? Exactly, no smoke. Exactly. Read what No Smoke says. You know what you know what Tank never did? The whole time he's giving you these opponents that he's beating, y'all do know Devin Haney was there the whole time, right? Can I ask y'all a question? Was Devin not a valid opponent at any point at 135? I think so. You want to leave Devin out of it? Cool. Let's leave Devin out of it because he don't sell nothing and Tank a star. What about Vasily Lomachenko? What about Vasily Lomachenko? Do y'all remember what Floyd Mayweather said about Vasily Lomachenko in reference to Tank? Is there a valid reason that y'all can think of as to why Tank did not fight Vasily Lomachenko in 4 years? Go. What is the reason? What is the reason? Let me search my brother's channel real quick. I'm on Marco's boxing channel. I'm looking for something that something that he said. Y'all remember what the video that Marco put up about when Mike Tyson sat down with John Fury? Y'all remember that? Let me search his channel real quick. Man said, let's see if I can find it. The man said, man, that was some shit that Don King set up. I should have looked for it last night. Marco got a lot of material here. I ain't gonna bother looking for it. But Mike Tyson told John Fury, he said, man, that was some shit Don King set up. Which asked the question, I spoke about this before, which I asked before. I said, look, man, you know, how much of this shit with Mike Tyson was even set up, man? How much of it was set up? How much of it was set up? Because a lot of those, look at some of those Mike Tyson knockouts, man. A lot of that shit, you go back and say, what the fuck was that? Okay. So it's like almost 40 years later, you're like, oh, okay. Then Mike Tyson, puffs a L and sits down with John Fury, and John Fury asks him a question. He said, man, that's some shit that Don King has set up. Huh? Now, did y'all answer my question? Why didn't he fight? Devin was there the whole time. He never fought him. All right, never mind Devin, because people get mad and aggravated when we talk about Devin. Teofimo Lopez was there. His last name is Lopez, so he's a candidate. Why didn't he fight Teofimo? Why are you moving around? You're going to 140 for Barrios, and why'd you even leave? Tank could have stood right there and fought Leo Santa Cruz. Remember when I asked the question, why didn't he insert himself, the A side, into Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos' business? Those guys are chasing a bag, right? Why didn't he just say, yo, look. When that's done, I got next. He could have did that. Hell, don't act like we wouldn't have pushed for it. Don't act like we wouldn't have pushed for it. But you know what? So no Teofimo, no Kambosos, no Lomachenko in 4 years. Lomachenko said that he's the king of Twitter, something like that. Lomachenko been talking slimy about Tank. Why is he not even saying his name? Are you scared of the silly Lomachenko? And then a lot of people say, well, that fight ain't happened because of Floyd. Did you ask Leonard Ellaby? Didn't Leonard Ellaby said that Tank chooses his fights? So I'm just asking, which one is it, y'all? So Teofimo was there, Loma was there, Devin was there, and Shakur is there. Shakur is there. They're not even speaking. The whole time Mike Tyson was active, all I wanted to see, since people put him on a pedestal, even after the Buster Douglas loss, I said, look, I just want to see him clean out the division and prove he's the best. While he went away for those 4 years out of the ring or whatever, 3.5, 4 years, the heavyweight division was flooded. David Tua, Chris Bird was running around there. Ike Iabuchi, Lennox Lewis. It was getting active in there. And when he came out of prison, nobody was running from him. And I said, look, if Mike is the truth, he got to clean this up. And what happened? Let's see what happened. He gives you Peter fucking McNeely. And no disrespect to him, but we all saw how that ended. He gives you Buster Mathis Jr., and no disrespect to him, he's friend to the Strong House. Then he gives you Frank Bruno. You want to give him credit for that? Fine. Then he gives you Bruce Seldon, who I believe absolutely laid down for him. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. I didn't trust that. I was like, man, he didn't even touch him, man. And then 1996, November, the month of my birthday, he finally fights Evander Holyfield. And we saw what happened. And you know what was crazy after that happened? He absolutely beat Mike's ass. Now, let me tell you something leading up to that fight. These same friends, because now it's like a damn near a decade later, right? You know, several game systems later, you know, Mike Tyson's Punch Out is old now. It's whatever. Now everyone got the Sega Genesis or whatever. I had the Buster Douglas game, you know, but whatever. Leading up to that fight, y'all remember Evander Holyfield was having a hard way to go in his career. He had to get medically cleared. He had like a irregular heartbeat or something like that. And he's on the 700 Club, that church show, and praying to Jesus, and everyone think that he's crazy. And they're like, oh man, you know. And then he signs the Mike Tyson fight. And my friends laughed. They said, hey man, you know, Evander's not only going to lose, he's going to die in that ring. Mike going to hit him in the chest, and he's going to have a heart attack, and it was a big old joke. And I just sat there, and I said, I said, yeah, y'all know y'all been saying this a long time, right? Yeah. Okay. I said, guess what? My mind has not changed. Not only is Evander going to beat Mike Tyson, he's going to dominate him and stop him. I remember saying that. And those same friends, a decade later, laughed at me. And by the end of that Saturday night, this wasn't a situation where they could say, oh, well, Mike was out there partying and he didn't have no corner man. And nope. Evander beat the shit out of Mike. He did. He beat him up. He beat him up. That's what happened. I'm not talking bad. That's what happened. He beat the shit out of Mike and stopped him. And guess what? That wouldn't have happened if Mike ain't go to prison.
Whoa! What the fuck?
You just told me that he was going to hit Evander in the chest and give him a heart attack and kill him in the ring. There was big old conversations. Nah, for real, they need to stop this because, Mike going to kill him. Mike could kill him. What if he hits him in the chest and he falls on the floor and has a heart attack? Mike could kill him. They shouldn't have signed this. I don't know. Maybe Evander's trying to cash out, give money to his kids. I don't know. This is suicide. Sunday morning, they're like, yo, I'm saying, man, nah, man, Mike ain't get locked up. I said, don't do that. Here, eat some wings, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. And guess what? In the rematch, it was about to happen again. And Mike got so frustrated, his ear looked like a chicken McNugget. He bit it and spit it on the floor. This ain't chicken. Now, sidebar. When Mike went to prison in 91, he got out in 95. Let's see what Evander Holyfield was doing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's see what Evander Holyfield was doing in those 4 years. Damn, why don't they... Box Rec is on some BS, man. Oh, they're not letting me look at his... Okay, let me just go here. All right, Box Rec done kicked me out. They're sick of me. They're not letting me look at it. But anyway, in those 4 years, Evander Holyfield was busy. Evander Holyfield was busy, right? He was busy. All right. Evander was in there taking shots while Mike was well preserved in prison. Evander Holyfield was busy the whole time with a bad heart, allegedly. And he still whooped Mike's ass. And I told my friends back then, I said, see guys, there's a mystique behind Mike Tyson. Some of it was real, most of it was not. And when you look at the sport with a critical eye, all I'm saying is I see what gives this guys trouble. And I'm not sure, but I need to see him in there with specific guys for him to prove to me that he has another gear. Now, why is that wrong? I don't know. But I'm saying the same thing about Tank. There's more mystique behind him than anything. brothers could tell me, yo, I seen what he did in the gym. Brothers could tell me, oh, I heard he had this fight or whatever. Look, there's a lot of cap for this kid, Tank, man. There's things I can give him credit for, but I'm looking at his body of work and what he could have done, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it. So when I make the comparison to Tyson and Tank, or Tank to Tyson, I'm talking about the mystique. When people say, oh man, so-and-so ain't fight anybody. He has bums on his record. Look, I tell people all the time, look at Mike Tyson's first 2 years as a pro. The man fought 28 times. Those were all legitimate killers? No. He was supposed to beat those guys, and some of those guys took dives by Mike Tyson's own admittance. Basically, as soon as he said that's some shit that Don King set up, I said, whoa. Don King set up which fight? Was it 1? Was it 2? Was it 3? It's just like when a fighter finally pops on steroids. You're like, well, how long was he getting away with this until he got caught? How long was he doing this for? You don't know. So we're not wrong for asking the questions. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's go to share screen here. I'm on our brother Marco's channel, right? And you already know what I'm gonna play. Stormy B-Man in that super chat, much love. He said, to ensure his disqualification, Mike bit a second time intentionally after Mills Lane told him, one more time and you're out. Mike said, hold my yayo. Exactly. Y'all don't remember that? He bit Evander the first time and Mills Lane told him, don't do it again. Second time, he munched his ear, which means he wanted out of the fight, y'all. He wanted out of the fight. There's no other way to look at this. That's Mike Tyson, y'all. That's who the people like to praise. And I had people justifying that. No, because he was headbutting him. I'd have did the same shit. You're dumb. You're dumb. But I'm on Marco's page right now, and he made this into a short. Now, I need y'all to listen.
He's like a rabbit. Like, he could stay away. So
yeah, but do the fans pay for that?
No, but what I was going to ask you was, let's say he fights Tank. Do you see any problem at all being like, if he wants to stay away, like, you can't catch him. It's really hard to catch him.
Well, why would I put Tank in a situation like that when we can't do what we do? Because right now, if Tank...
Okay. What does that mean? Mark Miller, what are you talking about? You said, so you're saying fuck Holyfield cheating ways, right? What do you mean? No, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm saying that's what people were telling me. I don't know if you're just regurgitating what people are saying. I don't know. Don't block them, leave them there. I'm just trying to figure it out. No, I'm saying that's what people were telling me. Yo, he was headbutting them, so I'd have did it. So you'd have bit him too? Like, Mike, really? That's what you would have did? Yeah, okay. So whatever. I'll bring this back so y'all could listen to it. This is Coach Cal, y'all. I didn't make this up. This is Coach Cal.
It's really hard to catch him.
Well, why would I put Tank in a situation like that when we can't do what we do?
Come on, y'all. I cringed when he said this. I wasn't celebrating this. I didn't jump up and make a million videos talking about, oh, look, I told you so. I didn't say that. I said, oh, man, why did this brother say this out loud? That's what I said. Y'all know that's what I said. I said, why did he say this out loud? This wasn't for us to hear, y'all.
Because right now, if Tank don't get a knockout, it's gonna. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No.
If because everybody think Tank got to knock everybody out to win a fight. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
You with me? Because that stab is on him.
Okay.
So it makes sense. When I was listening to a podcast and they was talking about how the judges got when Tank dropped Garcia and they gave him the scorecard was wrong,
That's
which was
crazy.
that was Ryan Garcia. And they were setting Tank up for failure right then. If Ryan made it to the 12th round, put it like this. Is that stamp on Floyd Mayweather after the Canelo fight? Y'all remember one of the judges had it a draw? A draw where? A draw where? Am I right on that? Did they have Canelo either one of the judges had it a draw or they had Canelo winning? There was no part of that fight that Canelo competed with Floyd. No part of that fight. Floyd washed him. One of those judges had it was on some fuck shit, but that stamp wasn't on Floyd. So of course there was people in there, talking like, "Hey man, one of these judges got a shoe in. We got to make it interesting. It's Ryan Garcia." Mark Miller says, "I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember all that shit Holyfield was doing before the Tyson fight." Okay. So are you calling Evander Holyfield a dirty fighter? It's okay. You can call him a dirty fighter. You're entitled to your opinion. Guess what? You know what I mean? Mike Tyson opponent says, "Yo, this motherfucker hit me with an elbow." And at the end of the day, Mike Tyson bit the top of his ear off, man. How do you justify that? Does Evander lead with his head? Yeah, I've seen him do it. I've seen Bernard Hopkins do it. I've seen Mike Tyson throw elbows and land them. I've seen it. But at no point justify biting a dude's ear off. I think I've never seen that, like, ever, and spit it on the floor. Remember, somebody found it and picked it up and they had to sew it back on. And then Mike gets suspended again. You see? Now, here's what we know about Mike. When you start whooping on his ass, what happens with the bully when you start whooping the bully ass? What was Mike's second gear after he got hurt? There was none. Once you hurt him, he's gone. And you learned that later. Once you hurt him, you got him. Once you hurt him, you got him. Now, I saluted my brother Elijah Pierce. You know why? He had a rite of passage. He got hurt Saturday. He weathered the storm and won a stoppage. And everybody's attacking him. "Oh, you ain't ready for Tank. Oh my God, that happened to you. Who was that did that to you?" Okay, make the fight. Because you know what else Elijah shared with us? Let me move this down. Let me read this super chat real quick. Todd French in that super chat salute. He said, "What did Evander do before the fight? Explain." Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, it's just the truth. Mark, you might be right about Evander leading with his head. And I don't know what you're talking about, all that stuff before the fight, but, touche. Mike has bitten people. He's putting people in arm bars. I mean, he has a resume of doing weird shit in the ring. And I find it weird how he finally went head up with a dude 10 years later that met him and his bullshit in the ring, and he starts biting people. Go figure, right? It's okay to be a Mike Tyson fan, but this is the part where you don't stand in the pocket and justify what he did. Because Mike bit a man. He bit flesh off of another person. And then they threw him out the sport for another 2 years. This guy's a head case. Now, here's why I brought up Elijah Pierce. I just found out, A, that sparring footage that he put up with him and Tank, he was 17. Tank was like 20. And Elijah revealed that he was 122 in that ring. And didn't he say last night that Tank was like 155? That I didn't know. So understand, when people start talking about Devin's a weight bully, I'm looking at the sparring footage, and Elijah just said that man was damn near 30 pounds heavier than me, 3 years older than me, and Tank can get him out of there. Then when they're talking about this Haney footage, we heard that the sparring was doghouse rules, which means somebody has to quit. And we heard that it was like 30 minutes. And then the clip that's released, it's a 90-second edit. You had to edit 90 seconds? I said, well, here's how you solve this. Release the footage. And Ellie Setback has the footage. And what did Ellie say? I'm loyal to Tank, and that's why I'm not releasing it. What does that tell you? Ellie don't fuck with the Haneys. If Tank cracked Haney, that footage would have been out, bro. Because Ellie don't fuck with Bill. That footage would have been out all over the place. But again, leave Devin out of it. Tank ducked Devin. We can say that. Todd French in that super chat, he said, let's not act like Mike is a pillar of justice. Of course he's not. That's why I'm saying that's why I'm not engaging in that. This isn't even that's not even a discussion. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a conversation. This guy has a criminal record outside the ring and basically inside the ring. Evander does not. Now you see how the brother stuck in the pocket for Mike and brought up Evander about some headbutts or whatever. Look, a lot of fighters, they have dirty tactics. But Mike Tyson bit his ear off, a portion of his ear off. And I've seen elbows and arm bars. There's no comparison. Peace, no smoke. There's no comparison, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I'm talking about. The mystique is very similar. The mystique is similar. I can't gauge Tank. I can't gauge Tank at all. Look at his record. For the life of me, I'm like, y'all, Mike has done some things, yes, but y'all have him on his pedestal, and there's still things I need to see him do. And guess what? When Mike started to do it and started losing, people stood in the pocket for him and say, oh, look, he's old now. He went to jail. And I said, y'all are doing this 15 years later. Y'all are still making excuses for this guy. When does it end? Why are y'all making excuses for him? Tell me what's the excuse. Why didn't Tank fight Devin Haney when Devin Haney was in that division for 9 fucking years? Why didn't he fight Teofimo Lopez? Why didn't he fight George Kambosos? Why didn't he fight Vasily Lomachenko? Why is he not fighting Shakur? There's work there for him to do. Why are we wrong for asking him to leave no doubt that he's the best at 135? Shakur's right over there. And he's not doing it, but he gets on fucking Twitter and starts beefing with people. Loma has said your name and he's violated you the most. I'll show y'all. Let me see. Here we go.
He said the kid isn't ready yet for the fight. Floyd Mayweather is his knows about boxing. The question of whether Gervonta Davis is ready to fight a master like Loma should be put to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Let him answer that question. Don't ask stupid stuff about Gervonta Davis when his promoter says he's not ready.
But I think Gervonta Davis is best of the best fighter in Twitter.
Okay. You think that doesn't burn me up to hear Loma say that about our little brother Tank? And I'm from the cloth like, yo, man, go get him. 4 years later, he didn't get him. And you know what's worse, Tank fans? Devin stepped in and got him, and y'all rooted against Devin. I'll say it again. Devin went in there and took care of Tank's responsibility, and y'all rooted against him. Just like Deontay Wilder stepped in and took care of that King Kong Ortiz business 2 times when King Kong Ortiz was Anthony Joshua's responsibility. Did y'all forget that? And y'all ripped Deontay Wilder for that. Y'all rooted against him for that. First y'all say, oh, you don't want no parts of Ortiz. I said, Ortiz is the matchroom fighter. That's y'all do know that that's AJ's responsibility. He ain't gonna fight him. I mean, he fought him. Oh, he ain't gonna beat him. Then he beat him. Oh, he got robbed. Or, they cheated for him. He ain't gonna want that smoke again. Then he fought him again and stopped him again. Now what? Whole time y'all niggas rooting against Deontay. So then when I see these same type of fans, these Tank fans, accuse us of dragging Tank. Oh, well, he came from nothing. No, they don't say he came from nothing. They say we, because they can identify with black people. We like to identify with negative shit. We came from nothing with blah, 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 blah. No, he came from nothing, nigga. He don't know you. He don't know you. I see how Tank be attacking people on Twitter. I seen it. Yeah. It's old now. Oh, he came from the mean streets of wherever the fuck. I'm from the mean streets of West Bubblefuck, New York, Baltimore, wherever the fuck you claim. You stand in the pocket with this stupid shit. The mystique is very similar. I've seen this before with Tank. It's safe to say that Tank has not been tested. Only thing I learned about Tank was that he broke his hand in the Isak Cruz fight and he was on defense. And Isak don't have another gear because he couldn't do anything to set up any traps to get Tank. He set up no traps. He was just trying to, trust me, Rolly was made to order because Rolly didn't have a second gear. Rolly has a lot of physical attributes, but he needs a new coach. What's the Freddie Roach guy? I always forget his name. The guy that when Isak fought on the Bud and Errol undercard. Go watch that fight. Freddie Roach's guy. What's his name? Camiro, whatever. I forget his name. But Isak had problems with him. That dude was boxing him. But now he got a belt at 140. I'm telling you. I don't know if Isak could beat Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is a good boxer. Y'all know I don't fuck with that kid, but I'm gonna tell the truth about him. I don't think Isak beats Teofimo Lopez. He does not beat Devin Haney. Subriel Matias, I don't know if it's going to be a gunfight or is he going to box him. Don't know. And by the way, before I lost my point prior, by the way, this was Isak's first fight at 140 to my knowledge. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. First fight at 140, wins a belt. I didn't hear anybody I didn't hear anybody from his camp or him saying that 140 was too big and can this be a catch weight? I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of that. Went up there and got a belt. Why was Tank fucking with weight with Rolly Romero? Why was he 15 pounds heavier than Leo Santa Cruz? Why was he playing weight games with Ryan Garcia? And it goes back to what I was saying before. Devin was there the whole time he didn't fight him. Loma's still there the whole time he ain't even saying his name. Kambosos, he could have easily inserted himself in the Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez business. He didn't do it. Teofimo Lopez wasn't unified the whole time, but he was there the whole time. Why didn't you fight him, man? Why? Didn't Bill Haney say that Teofimo Lopez moves like a black fighter? Didn't he say that? I know he said that. Meaning Teofimo has pretty good feet, which is a problem for Tank. I'm not sold. This is the same exact feeling I had with Mike Tyson. I get it, all the knockouts, the cartoon style knockouts or whatever. But the truth is, when he fought people that knew how to put shit together on him, he was confused and he had no other gear. When have you seen Mike Tyson get up off the canvas and win? It's never happened. It's never happened. The reason why I brought up Elijah Pierce. Over the weekend, our brother got dropped. He came back and won by stoppage. He grew up in that ring. That's character right there. That's character. You seen Devin Haney get wobbled by Jorge Linares. He had to get his legs back. And when he got his legs back, he got back to business. Top French in that super chat, he said, facts, Drew. If Tank flatlined Haney, that tape would have came down from the heavens and would have been on every channel. They know what happened exactly. If Devin got fucked up in that sparring like they say he did, that tape would have been everywhere. Phillips Nunez in that super chat salute, he said, now it feels like a given. We getting Tank versus Cruz too. Yeah, don't be surprised if that's a conversation. But they're going to tell Cruz to come down to 134 or something crazy like that. Mark Miller says Devin could have fought too, but didn't. No, he couldn't have. I'm going to tell you why, Mark. I don't know how long you've been involved in all of this stuff, but Tank a star. How many times we heard Leonard Ellaby says B-sides don't make no offers? When Devin was unified, when Devin became undisputed, did he not look at Tank and say, what's up? He gave Shakur an offer. Shakur said, not enough money. Fuck you then. Devin was WBC champion the whole time. Remember? Email champion. Remember when Tank said, yo, we can get it popping? Well, A-side, where was the offer, man? Nothing, because the A-sides make the offer. He didn't even look at him. He didn't even look at him. So since Devin don't make no calls, he's not a boss or whatever, he said, fuck it, I'm leaving. I'm going up in weight. The brother goes up in weight, and all of a sudden he ran to 140. I don't understand that. That term ran, what does that mean to y'all? To me, that sounds negative. How you in a fucking division for 9 years, collecting belts, you're there the whole time, but the A side that's been there the whole fucking time don't even look in your direction. And then when you win some shit, and that's another thing, a lot of these motherfuckers don't respect Devin Haney's road travel. Y'all don't. That man's literally has signed deals with people we didn't want to see him working with Bob Arum. We know what that is. We didn't see him work. We didn't want to see him working with Eddie Hearn, but he did it. He did it. He had to go to Australia, take short money, win undisputed, and defend it over there. And y'all don't respect it. Y'all talking about Tank? He hasn't done anything remotely close to what Devin Haney has done. Not remotely close. Now, if you pick him to beat Devin, based off of what? Based off of what? See, Mike Tyson had a little bit of wiggle room. I think he beats Evander Holyfield. Why? Health-wise. And Evander had so many wars. Remember? Because when Mike was away for 4 years, he was preserved. Evander had wars. Which is why when Evander knocked him out, I wasn't hearing anything I had to say. I said, wait a minute. Oh, well, Mike was in prison, and he was in prison. So if he didn't lose those years in prison, wait a minute. Evander had wars, man, and he wasn't like super dominant in all of those fights. Those were wars, right? So he was taking damage and everything else. Mike was preserved. So what are we talking about here? So you picking Tank over Haney based off of what exactly? Who's he fought that you can say is like Devin Haney? I'd love to hear that. How does this happen? Especially when the guy was there the whole time, you didn't even bother to fight him. You didn't even bother to take his O. Look at all the names I read. You saw more value in those names than Devin Haney? All right, so watch this. He's at 140. Leave Devin Haney out of it because he's too big and everything else, right? Shakur's there. And this is the part where we go back to Coach Cal. Shakur's there. Let's bring it back.
Knockout. It's gonna you get the
Do you see any problem at all with just being like, if he wants to stay away, like you can't catch him. It's really hard to catch him.
But why would I put Tank in a situation like that when we can't do what we do? Because right now, if Tank don't get a knockout, it's gonna you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If because everybody think Tank got to knock everybody out to win a fight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You with me? Because that stab is on him.
Okay.
So it makes sense. When I was listening to a podcast and they was talking about how the judges got when Tank dropped Garcia and they gave him the scorecard was wrong, which was
crazy.
But that happens. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So like in that fight with Shakur, the guy I thought he won the first round. They gave the first round to Shakur.
So doesn't that even shit out? Doesn't that even shit out? Condo, my brother. Doesn't that even shit out, man? Tank knocks everybody out though, right? Coach Cal, are you admitting that you can't give Tank the proper instruction to trump the style that Shakur would bring? Are you saying that? Are you saying that? Mark, I'm really starting to think that you just got here like this year. You said Devin could have fought Tio? Wrong. Chat. I'm not doing this. Can you explain why Devin and Tio never fought? Can you explain that? I'm not doing this, bro. I'm not doing this. Of course they could have fought. Why do you think the fight ain't happened? Let me help you. It wasn't because of Devin. It wasn't because of Devin. It wasn't because of Devin. They were one fight away from a real undisputed. And do y'all remember what happened? Mark, do you remember what happened? Do you know what happened? Let me ask. I'm not gonna ask you if you remember. Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? I'm not doing this. Todd Fresh back in that super chat. He said, I'm convinced Pitbull will have the same excuses as well because he sure did dodge them fights as well. Cruz already ducked everyone except Ryan. Amen. Amen. Detroit native salute. Amen. Everybody's a warrior. I'm trying to talk Isaac Cruz up because I like his story, and I'd rather try and put a coat on him of being a throwback fighter because I like his story, and he's a little pit bull. He's a dog. He's a little dog. But you know what happens with these guys? Sometimes the business takes over and they just go somewhere, and it's never anywhere that we like. I had high hopes for Shakur, and he started acting like an asshole. I had high hopes for Teofimo Lopez. He started acting like an asshole. I said it's in the best interest of the sport that Kambosos beats Teofimo, because I believe that Kambosos, even when him and Devin spoke, remember when they had that good conversation? He said, yeah, we can get it on for Undisputed. And then he started acting crazy. Devin had to go do what he did, and he beat him twice. Devin becomes Undisputed against all odds. And I'm not saying y'all, but y'all hate him for it. I'm not saying y'all in the chat, but I'm saying people hate Devin for it. People hate Devin for accomplishing everything that Tank refused to do at 135. Whoa!
What the fuck?
Why wasn't Tank Undisputed at 135, man? That's a real question. I'm not firing shots or whatever. I'm asking, if Tank had the talent, why didn't he insert himself in all the business and just say, yo, look, belts don't mean nothing, but if I beat these guys, I could be the youngest undisputed champ at 135. People say belts don't mean nothing. Guess what? The dude you knocked out it didn't mean any more, any less. So why not, while you're at it, just get belts? Why not? Why not? What it's telling me is that for the same amount of money or more money, your star power, right, is more important than legacy. And I'm saying, if your star power is what it is, and it don't matter who you fight, you're going to make the same money, why not just go ahead and get the fucking belts? Because your fan base said you could do it. The mystique. Mike Tyson had this same mystique. He could beat everybody's ass. And I said, I don't think so, man. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He'll beat a lot of people. But you know what? I want to see him do this. I want to see him do that. And once we got up to Evander Holyfield, I said, look, Evander, look, man, this guy's going to be a problem for him. And nobody believed me. And I've been saying it for 10 goddamn years. I said, man, look, y'all can talk all about that long count, the Buster Douglas shit, but the Buster Douglas was whooping his ass. Nah, Mike got robbed. I said, okay, well, we'll see in a rematch. Rematch never happens. Oh, well, Mike would have beat him in a rematch. What? Well, you saw what Evander did to him. That's Evander, though. That's not Mike. What are y'all talking about? What? Gay? Gay? What are you doing? The mystique, y'all. Mike's professional record is fugazi. And it's right in y'all face, and a lot of people don't even look at it. These new kids get on YouTube and they look at highlight reels and they know boxing. Y'all didn't know that Buster Douglas was flying back and forth across the country in litigation. Don King had him tied up in a lawsuit. He couldn't get no goddamn camp. And then he gets on the scale, he's overweight, he's depressed, and of course he lost to Evander. And even after he lost to Evander, he ain't trying to run it back. He ain't trying to run it back. He never tried. He ran it back with Razor Ruddock. Told Razor Ruddock, yo, if he don't die, don't count. That's what he told him. Tommy Morrison was running around at heavyweight. Didn't fight him either. The Duke. Lennox Lewis with the flat top he been looking for the smoke. Never fought him either. Oliver McCall didn't fight him because he knew him in that ring I'm talking about. But the mystique behind Mike Tyson was that he was the baddest man on the planet. They still call him that. There's still people that say, with a full camp, Mike could compete in the division today. Please stop. Please stop. I say, yo, prime for prime, Deontay Wilder would have knocked the shit out of Mike Tyson. No. What makes you think that he wouldn't? And just listen to the answers. 6'7", with that power punching downward. You know what Don King would have did with Deontay in the 80s? If Deontay Wilder was walking around in the 80s, he'd have signed Deontay and kept him and Mike far away from each other. They wouldn't have fought until the very, very end when someone's contract was up. Now I'm going to feed him. And I stand on that. I firmly believe Deontay Wilder would have knocked the shit out of Mike Tyson. Because I'm looking at the body of work and I know what gave him problems. No fear, a good punch, unintimidated. That's what beats Mike. You fuck him up. Come on, man. Get out of here. You're entitled to that opinion. I think Mike Tyson would have got his shit and launched into the fucking upper deck. That peekaboo style, Deontay would have hit him on the top of his forehead. Deontay, leading up to the fight, staring at Mike. Mike would have been like, oh shit, this guy ain't fucking around. Yeah. This guy ain't fucking around. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Go watch the Mitch Green fight. Mitch Green was not scared of Mike at all. He was not scared of Mike at all. People think that shit is impossible. It's not impossible. People been telling me, if you heard what I heard in the 80s, you'd thought Mike was a god. I'm like, no. I've seen chinks in the armor. Y'all gonna see. And as soon as Evander whooped his ass, they were like, oh shit. Well, you know, he was in prison. I'm like, hey, there you go. There you go. There you go. He was in prison. Got it. Darius in that super chat, Maslabi said, remember he started the strap season model when he got to 135. Got it tatted on him. Forgot about that. Months later, Devin got the WBC belt and Tank switched up. He had strap season tatted on him, y'all. I forgot about that. Thank you, Darius. What strap? When belts don't make money. You see what I'm saying? He switched up, y'all. This is your man. The mystique behind Tank is very similar to Mike Tank. I've seen this before, man. Tank, with all the money and being the A side, he hasn't shown me shit. Look at the record, man. Let me go back to it real quick. Mario Barros, Isak Cruz, Rolly, Hector Luis Garcia, Ryan Garcia. Out of all the names I mentioned throughout the show, where was the element of danger? None. There was no element of danger. What do we know about Tank? Every fight that he's been in, there was no element of danger. He was going to win. He had trouble outside the goddamn ring. Similar to Mike. And last but not least, unlike Mike, the young man has not fought his contemporaries. Todd French in that super chat, he said, facts, Wilder can punch through the high guard. Yeah, he'd have fucked Mike up, bro. I'm telling you he would have. I'm telling you he would have. He'd have slowed Mike down, and after like the third or fourth round, if Mike don't get caught, what's he going to do with a jab in his face? I'm sorry. Refer to the Lennox Lewis fight. Oh, well, he's not a boxer like Lennox Lewis. You really didn't need to be. You need to be fearless. You needed to have a stick to put in Mike's face and power to keep him honest. He done knocked Mike out, bro. And when Lennox Lewis knocked Mike out, what was said? Oh, well, you know, Mike was past it. Man, listen. Lennox Lewis been stopped prior to that. And everybody that gave Lennox Lewis a headache, what did he do? He ran it back. Mike, come on, man. Mike ain't run it back with Buster Douglas, y'all. Never forget that. He got stopped by Evander, went to run it back, and was about to get his ass whooped. He started biting people. And that was his decline. And guess what? Stop acting like Lennox Lewis and Mike and Evander. Stop acting like all those guys aren't around the same age group. Why didn't he fight David Tua or Riddick Bowe? Big George Foreman, Ike Ibeabuchi, Chris Bird, Jamil McCline. What was McCline? Ray Mercer. Forget McCline. I think he came a little later. Ray Mercer. All of those guys were there. He gives you Peter McNeely. He gave you Francois Bothar. And salute to him. He's friend to the Stronghouse. But I'm saying, there were other options. And he didn't do it. Theo Cooper, the Do Better podcast, my brother, salute. I had your live running on both my other channels, by the way. So technically, I was in the chat twice. No diggity doubt. The mystique of Mike Tyson. Tank Davis, this mystique reminds me. Go look at, if y'all think I'm bullshitting, yeah, Michael Moore was there. Now, I'm not saying Mike couldn't have won all those fights. He might have won a few of them. He might have won all of them. I'm saying he didn't do it, y'all. And stop telling me that he didn't have to. This shit with Tank. He didn't have to. Watch this. Reverse the roles. Vasily Lomachenko. He said that about Tank. We don't like that, right? Cool. We don't like that. Vasily Lomachenko lost his second pro fight to Orlando Salido. I recall when I was in a god-awful Facebook group years ago, I said he need to go get that back. You know what his fan base was telling me? Oh, well, Loma was winning the second part of the fight. He dropped too many rounds early. That's the only reason why he lost. I said, okay, so go get that back. Oh, he don't need to because we saw the end of the fight. What the fuck you mean you don't need to? You see, this is the thought process that I don't identify with. You lost. Get it back. Your second pro loss. And he got opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And no one said a mother skunting thing. Except us. So now, let's put the roles back on Tank. Why are y'all allowing him to do this? Or not do this? Leave Devin out of it. Because he's too big and he's a weight bully. And he don't sell no seats or whatever. Hector Garcia, though? Mario Barrios, though? Where was the element of danger? I just went through the whole record, y'all. You like Tank for what? He's from your same city? I get it. But past that, what? He's a dog? What are you basing that off of? Because everything that you heard about gym wars, let me tell you something. Documented, we've seen a couple. The Devin Haney gym war. 90-second clips is Fugazi. Because we heard doghouse rules. It was over 30 minutes. And Tank quit. Wasn't Devin that quit. You know how we know? Because Bill won the money. So I don't care what Adrian Broner says. The fact is Bill got paid. How did he get paid? If Devin lost. If he got cracked. Yeah, guess what? Devin got cracked, but he won. Which means when he got cracked, he ate the punch. Uh-oh. How many times did Tank get cracked? Because Tank quit. I don't care what AB says. I don't care what Tank says. I don't care about that edited 90-second clip of a 30-minute sparring session. You want to get deeper than that? Let's go back to our brother Elijah Pierce. Hold on, y'all. Elijah Pierce. He put out the spar with him, and it was longer than 90 seconds. And he held his own. And what does Tank fans do? They attack Elijah and not read what he said. He was actually bigging up Tank. Salute to you, man. I learned a lot in the spawn session. He didn't read it. Can Tank read? I'm asking the real question. Can he read? He just goes in there, yo, take this down. Why? Oh, I get it. Because he said, oh, I knocked you out in spawn. No, you didn't. You knocked out my boy. He knocked out the first spawn partner. Elijah got in there, and it was smooth. Tank 20 years old. Elijah was 17. Elijah's 122 pounds. Tank was 155. Huh? Now let me ask y'all a question. I see what happens when Devin gets hurt. He's professional. He got his legs back and got back to business. And all of a sudden, that one little incident against Jorge Linares and Devin ain't got no chin. How you go from not having a chin to being a weight bully? So he goes up in weight to fight Regis Prograis, knocks him down in the second, and I think in the 10th, hurt him bad. Now all of a sudden he's a weight bully. I'm reading articles on these boxing posts saying in order for Devin to reach the pinnacle of his career, he has to fight Super El Matias and Boots and David Benavidez. Y'all remember when I read that article? I said, God damn, he got to do all of that? He got to do all of that? Now watch this. Watch this. Y'all paying attention? Why are they putting all of that on Devin Haney? For him to reach the pinnacle of his popularity. Never mind the fact that he's the youngest undisputed champion in history of the sport. Never mind the fact that he's gone to 140 and captured the title, and he's looking for all the smoke at 140. He wants to be undisputed there too. But he has to do all of this to reach the popularity of Tank. Question. They're putting all of that on Devin Haney. Why aren't they putting that on Tank? Did y'all catch that? Why aren't they putting that on Tank? Why are they not putting that on Tank? Why does Devin have to fight David Benavidez and Super El Matias and Boots? They had him in there with guys from 140 to 168. I read it, y'all. I read it. I read it on my live. Y'all remember. Why does he have to do all of that? But Tank ain't got to do anything remotely close. They had him in there with Boots, y'all. Huh? They're not putting that on Tank. And Tank a star. So let me get this straight. Devin's walking around undisputed and then had a belt. He has a belt at 140. But they got him in the ring with goddamn David Benavidez and Boots Ennis. But Tank is just sitting there. And next to him, filing his nails, is Shakur Stevens. Or Shakur Stevenson or Sanchez, whatever he calls himself. And they ain't even talking. So when y'all say, oh, you just want this fighter to lose, really? Because that was old media saying that. No, I want these guys to prove that they're the best. What is the problem with asking Tank to prove it? And every time you ask Tank to prove something, weight clauses and all of this, this is ridiculous, y'all. This is ridiculous. Y'all are ridiculous. Y'all are haters. And I've seen this before with Mike Tyson. I've seen this before. And how did it end for Mike? I don't want to hear, oh, he was just thirsty for money and, oh, he was past his prime. No. Him and Lennox Lewis are the same age group. Him and Riddick Bowe is the same age from the same hood. Ray Mercer is the same age and same hood. Well, not the same hood, but same age. All of those guys were around. All of them were around and active. Mike didn't do it. The only thing I can say about that was that in Mike's resume, there was a lot of elements of danger. There was an element of danger with Buster Douglas. And he lost and never ran it back. Thank you, Darius. Evander's older than Mike, y'all. And I agree with you, Kobe. Devin shouldn't even be acknowledging Tank. Devin didn't follow in those stupid ass footsteps. He set his own trail. Devin don't need Tank. Because if they go to, if boxing stopped right now, everyone should be looking at Tank and saying, why aren't you fight? Because you're the A side, right? Why aren't you fight Shakur? Why aren't you fight Devin? Why aren't you fight Lomachenko? Why aren't you fight Kambosos? Why aren't you fight Teofimo Lopez? Meanwhile, Devin is stepped to all of those guys. If he didn't fight him, they said no. Teofimo said no. Tank said no. Shakur said no. At least Kambosos got in there. At least Lomachenko got in there. How could I believe what you say when I see what you do? Tank, I cannot gauge the young man. He got to do something. Leo Santa Cruz, Hector Garcia, Ryan Garcia, Isaac Cruz, Rolly Romero. Y'all doing everything to tear Devin Haney down. It doesn't make sense. And like I said, this Devin Haney and Tank thing is eerie similar. It's eerie similar to the Evander Holyfield Mike Tyson thing. I was hearing more excuses. This wasn't concerned about Evander's health. They were comfortable joking about it. And I'm talking about my age group and some of the adults. They were comfortable joking about it when they thought Evander wouldn't get cleared. And then when he got cleared, they was like, well, he might die in the ring. Yeah. And they stood on that. And I said, the fight's happening, guys. That's not our responsibility. With all things being equal, who do you got? Well, I got Mike. Okay. Here's why I got Evander Holyfield. Here's why. The Buster Douglas thing. Oh, well, Buster was fat and out of shape. Probably. But that's the guy that beat Mike. Oh, well, Mike was in Japan fucking around or whatever. That's Mike's fault. And why didn't he run it back immediately? Wouldn't you have rather Mike fight the out of shape Buster Douglas that Evander fought, that y'all said, and get the knockout and say, yeah, that proves that Mike was fucked off in Japan because look what he did to him in the first round. No. That's not what y'all did. That's not what y'all are comfortable with. He has 2 fights in between and then fights Razor Ruddock 2 times. Come on. Eerie similar. This is very similar. There's a reason why Tank ain't fight these guys, y'all. If y'all can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to hear about sparring stories. I don't want to hear it anymore. You know why? The 2 that I've seen Tank look subpar. We heard he quit in the doghouse rules, and I watched Eliza Pierce style on him. I don't want to hear shit about no goddamn sparring anymore. Shut up. Shut up. Usually I say y'all doing too much, but the reality is y'all not doing enough. If y'all Tank fans like you say you are, what you need to do is hold the young man accountable. That's what you do. If this is your guy, you should only know one way to tell him, and that's the truth. Because you're harming him by justifying his stupid shit. I can't tell you how good he is. I'm done saying that all these fights for him is 50-50. I'm done. I think Shakur beats him. Because if he beats Shakur, ain't Shakur Latino? Why ain't fighting him? Since you like fighting Latins. That's a fair question. That's a fair question. I'm not being funny. He's right there with a belt. They got belts. They could unify right now. Why is that not being done? Tank better not fuck around and lose to Frank Martin. I'm going to say it one more time. Tank better not mess around and lose to Frank Martin. By the way, what's the date on that fight?
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.